Thank you all for joining us today at the Empowerment Zone. My name is Lina KHALIFEH. I'm the founder of Shefighter, and I'm your host for today. The Empowerment Zone focuses on highlighting the achievements of and voices of women, especially in martial arts, but also entrepreneurs, feminists, and women all over the world trying to make a change, to share their knowledge and expertise with everyone. Today, my guest is from Toronto, Canada, where I am at right now, and I'm excited to introduce her. And she has worked in the fitness industry for over 10 years, teaching athletic development, fitness, nutrition, and a variety of martial arts, including Muay Thai, boxing, Krav Maga, and Arnis. She's currently the director of SisterFit, North America's first gym for Muslim women in Scarborough, Ontario. So please welcome Fati Garsi. Yeah, welcome Fatima. Thank you for being here today with us on your busy day on a weekend.
Thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, and it's always a great time with you. You always have a lot of golden nuggets and drops of wisdom, and your accent is so charming, Lina.
Thanks, Fati. So her nickname is Fati, if you want to call her Fati. You prefer Fati, right? Not Fatima.
So yeah, it's Fati or Fatima.
Oh,
either one, or FLG, my initial.
FLG. Whatever you want to call her Fati or FLG or Fatima.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Yeah, for sure. No, so thank you so much for being here, and I love the background. It's her dojo, it's her studio. Do you call it dojo?
No, I call it gym or studio, but I like dojo too. That's reminds me of old school martial arts, you know?
Yeah, dojo is like old school martial arts. I never said dojo even with my taekwondo studio. I used to call it school or studio or academy, but I never, but I think karate, they call it dojo, and some arts, they call it dojo, even jujutsu. But I mean, it's the old school for sure. But yeah. I mean, let's start talking about you. How did you start in martial arts? We want to know about that.
Oh, it's a long story. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this quick. So when I was 5, I was a really shy kid. I'm still really shy, but basically I was getting beat up, at school, and I wouldn't do anything about it. I would just kind of sit there, and until I think my mom noticed I had marks and stuff like that, and this kid was spitting in my face, and I had a lot of hatred on me since I was just a kid for being really androgynous. I'm sure you can relate. And then I was forced into martial arts from when I was 5 until I was 11, and I hated every second so passionately. I used to pray in the car ride there that we would get in a car accident. That's how much I hated being there. So I trained there for 9 hours a week. I
can't believe you hated going there. Was it which martial arts? Is it karate?
No, it was traditional Chinese martial arts. So it was Kung Fu. And I hated it. So anyways, then, let's fast forward. When I became a teenager, I had no interest in doing anything like that. I was doing a lot of other things that weren't so good for me. And then when I was 20, I had a lot of angst, so I took up Muay Thai. And then I went to Taiwan, and I basically dedicated all my time into training Muay Thai and Arnis. I thought I was gonna pursue fighting professionally, but due to my injuries, I had a really bad concussion and a few other bumps and signs from God that it was not a good idea for me to do. So I still love training, which is why I'm really passionate about what I do. But yeah, I hope that is a short summary of my experience.
Well, you are a mix between. Tell us about your background because it's very interesting, and I think everybody is interested to know
My
what
ethnic background?
interesting mix. Yeah, you are.
Okay, I'm half Kurdish, and if you guys don't know what that is, it's split between 4 territories right now:
Yeah.
Turkey, Iran, Syria, and Iraq, and half Taiwanese, little island beside China. So
Of course, everybody. Is it Taipei? Taipei.
Taipei is the capital of Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you know where are you from Taiwan?
Where?
Originally? Yeah.
So my mom would be from a place called Taidong. You have to say it like that.
Okay. Taidong.
No, it's more emphasis on the D. Taidong.
Taidong.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That was pretty good. Yeah. Really small, beautiful countryside kind of area. I visited there. So I spent a lot of time in Taiwan. You know, I had a really hard time for the first year because I didn't understand the language.
Mm.
And I was basically in the boonies, in the middle of nowhere with like, it was very rural, like fish farms and chicken coops.
And how long did you spend in Taiwan? Like, is it years?
Yeah, about 3 years.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mostly in the south. And so basically I had nothing to do, no distractions. I would go to the internet cafe to use the internet, okay?
Yeah.
So I was really focused on training, and having that kind of focus and not having distractions is something I miss so much, because now we're all just like, we have the phone here, always checking, you know, social media and messages, and it just throws you off of your game sometimes. So that's something.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what I noticed. There's a lot of distractions nowadays, and I feel really bad for teenagers because they have a lot of distractions. I mean, when I was a teenager, I just used to go to taekwondo and come back. That's it. I did not call my friends. We used to have this, you know, phone where you just dial like this.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was complicated. So it was just I was just focused on one thing, which of course school, but like after school it would be taekwondo, that's it, and I go back home. Sometimes I do have like some kind of activities like music, art, and nowadays everybody's not really spending and investing a lot of time doing these things. They're more in like on social media or something, but we need that kind of, you know, art to grow within ourselves. I mean, I'm just afraid that the new generation would be a little bit slower in their reaction.
A lot slower.
A lot slower. Like, for example, if you want them to react on something, and they're probably going to take more time to react.
Yeah. And you know, there's a lot of studies about focus and the distractions and how it really impedes your learning and your flow, right? I'm sure you know all about getting into a state of flow, and that takes about 90 minutes of complete focus and no distraction whatsoever, which would be a nightmare for today.
It's a nightmare. Everything is distracting you. You have a screen, you have mobiles, everything is distracting. TV, Netflix, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm really glad that I was, you know, born a little bit earlier to get past that time, because I would have just been glued to my phone, swiping on Tinder,
for sure.
something like that. I don't know.
Oh God, yeah, Tinder.
I take it back. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, so tell us more about Arnis, because I've never really heard about this art before, and I'm sure everybody's listening, they never kind of heard, it's not that familiar, but tell us more about Arnis, the art, the martial arts of Arnis.
It's awesome. I've actually got, if you can see this tire?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that tire is like training for Arnis. It's like a punching bag, so we whack it. Basically, it's a bladed martial art. native to the Philippines. And originally it was developed as a tool of self-defense. The Philippines have been invaded many times. A lot of, genocides have happened on the island, and the farmers would use their farming tools as a weapon. Yeah. Eventually, and then it developed into a sport, which is why they use sticks so people don't die. And now it's the national sport of the Philippines, and it's a beautiful art. I wish more people knew about it, but I think when it comes to weapons, it takes a little bit more time because you're adding something foreign to your hands, and therefore, and it's a bit slower. So it takes a really long time to study, but it's, and there's also a lot of different schools just with Arnis itself. There's like hundreds of different variations and different lineages. So actually getting into it can be a little bit difficult because a lot of the schools are really a bit culty, and they don't like you going around to other schools. It's kind of weird. Yeah. But once you do find a good place, then, let me know about it, because I would love to. I'm just kidding. It's a really cool art. We basically practice with sticks. Yeah. With one hand.
But do you use swords or any kind of other weapons?
So, yes. In my lineage, we start with sticks, then we progress to like a blade. And then once you learn the technique with the stick, it can be transferable to like a blade, a long one or a short one. But I really love it, especially for women. There's a lot of sensitivity involved. And it really helps me develop a lot of striking power and punching power, because what's cool about it is that, in Taekwondo and boxing, you rotate your feet a lot. There's a lot of foot pivots. But in Arnis, you actually plant your heels flat on the ground. So you really need to twist your waist and really generate force from your hips. So that was very helpful for me, and for balance too.
Oh, that's interesting to know. I mean, that's what I love about different martial arts. There's different ways to use either the hip or the force from the ground, or your shoulders, or it's just science. It's an art.
It is.
Yeah, but tell us more about why did you start SisterFit? I know you're the director of SisterFit, which is amazing, but why did you start SisterFit in North America?
Yeah, so initially when I moved to Toronto, I had like no connection anymore with the Muslim community. And I didn't want to for a really long time, until I came to Toronto, and something inside me was like, it was just telling me to do it. I just went into a mosque and started training a couple girls in a really dark corner of the mosque. And it just kind of similar to you, actually, one by one, word got out and ladies were coming. And it grew. The reason why was probably for personal connection with my faith. And then when I saw the growth, it just became something more. And I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed seeing the difference that it made in the lives of ladies. And then eventually I opened the gym last year.
That's amazing. Definitely you start with one-on-one and then it grows. Everything starts with an idea and then you take an action, and that's how everything grows.
Yeah.
But the thing people don't know it is they think everything has to be done really fast or on a bigger scale. But no, you start with an idea and then you act upon that idea, and then that idea will begin, and then it will become with an action, of course, taking a step towards it. Of course, it's going to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a snowball.
But you see, when I started Shefighter long time ago, my family did not really believe it's a business that I should be doing. So I'm just interested to know if your family supported you from the beginning, or did they tell you you can do this as a hobby, or don't waste your time too much, you know, teaching women self-defense. What was your parents' idea
I'll
about
tell you a funny story. So first, I like posted some photos on Facebook, and my sister called me, and she's like, "What are you doing?" She's like,
it?
"Are you? It looks like you're training in a secret ISIS camp because it looked so dingy. It looked like I was in somewhere really foreign, and like all the women were wearing a niqab, and it just it was really funny to me, but so basically people are just like, what are you, why, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, what is happening? And then in terms of a good business idea, I have to say that not a lot of people thought it was a good idea, but I knew it would work because I spent so many years in the community. I collected a lot of research and, you know, information, I suppose, but yeah, I suppose they support me now in their parental way. You know, Asian parents, they're like, you know, they can never, they always have to tell you the good side and the bad. You know, they always have to, they can't let your ego or your your hopes get too high. You know what I mean? But I'm sure deep down, they support what I do.
Yeah, they always have a way. I think parents, they always have a way to protect their children
Maybe
in
that's what it is. It's
in case
protecting.
of, you know, like, yeah, losses or failures. They did not want you to put a lot of hope on, you know, teaching women self-defense, and then you would be deceived, or you would feel like a failure at some point. But you know, parents always expect the worst sometimes. I don't know why. It's just a protection nature. But once they see you succeeding, they're like, oh, you know, we always believed you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
tell us, why do you think Muslim women, and especially Muslim women, need or just should learn self-defense?
Okay, so you know, like in Islam, it's I think a lost point. People overlook and tend to forget that you know it's an action-based faith from my perspective, and it's something that is within our faith to be strong and to really enhance our spirituality by training and by being healthy. So I think that gets really lost. And then, you know, a lot of times Muslim women don't prioritize themselves. They really put themselves on the back burner. And, you know, when they start training, it's like, as you know, it really just changes their life. So also, like comfort levels and privacy is really important for Muslim women.
Mm.
It's a very sensitive thing, and so creating the right environment is super important. So there's a lot of reasons why it would be more challenging for a Muslim woman or a woman who desires like privacy to get into martial arts when it's very male dominated, or the gym culture or the atmosphere just doesn't work with them. It's very difficult. So environment is super important.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, privacy for sure. And women don't want to be like kind of training in wearing a mask. It's not comfortable, you know, using a mask on while exercising, especially in martial arts. You sweat a lot, you breathe a lot, and I'm sure it's like very, very hard. Also for women, Muslim women who are covered, they want to take off the
Yeah.
hijab. So I'm just gonna explain. You know, the hijab is a head cover. For people who don't know what does it mean, like they call like head cover or hijab, and niqab that Fati mentioned at the beginning, it means like covering all the way the head and of course all the body, but like the face just showing the eyes, and some of them even don't show the eyes, right? Depends
Basically like
on.
COVID now. Everyone
Yeah.
has masks.
So everybody like now covered. But yeah, it's not that comfortable. That's what I noticed. They want to just take off the hijab. They just want to be in their fitness clothes. So they want to be very comfortable. And it's going to be hard around men. So of course, it's a safe space. It's a private space for Muslim women to train.
That's right.
But as you see, I also come from a Muslim background. You also come from a Muslim background, but we don't really look like Muslim women.
Right.
Have you had, because I had the same experience, have you had people coming to you and telling you, you know what, you're not following the Islam right, you're not covered, you don't cover your head, so you're not allowed to represent Islam. Have you had this kind of experience in your life?
First of all, I do not want to represent Islam, so please don't pick me to represent.
Yeah.
But I think people don't really have the guts to come to my face and say it. They probably think it or say it amongst their friends. I'm sure they do, but to come to me and say that, no. But I can tell when people don't like me, and that's normal. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, some people just don't know that it's not just about the looks, it's about the faith. And if your faith is, if you're following any kind of religion, it's up to you, it's a choice. But you don't have to, you know, the religion is huge and it's vast, and you cannot follow everything written in either the Bible or the Quran or any kind of religion. You cannot be perfect. So at least you try at least to be faithful, you know, like to have faith and just follow the things that are in common with religion. So I think that's even more than enough. So it's important to how you feel inside, not also how you look on the outside. But of course, if you have it both, I mean, for Islam, I mean, that's what the religion kind of follows. So, and as I said, I'm not also an expert in Islam, and I'm not sure if you are too, but it's very complicated when it comes to religions.
It's very complicated. It can be really sensitive for some people, but my team is very diverse. One of the ladies wears a niqab. The other girls wear hijab. About 2 or 3 of us don't wear hijab. So, you know, that's all, you know, religion isn't about how you look, right? It's about what's in your heart and the actions that you take. And I think that if people feel and share the same values as we do, then it's going to be a good fit. If not, definitely some people come in here and they, for example, don't believe in music, don't believe in listening to music, and then right away then it's not going to work just because we have, you know, a little bit of a different viewpoint. And some people have actually, I have had team members tell me that yes, like some people look at me and are like, who is that? Why is this the, you know, who is she? And, you know, I look different basically. And they don't want anything to, they don't want to, you know, enter my facility, and that's fine. You know, I'm not here to please everybody.
Of course.
So even within the community, yeah, I have a great support, but definitely I do have a bunch of haters. Okay. But you know,
we all have.
Right. If you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. You need to have haters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whenever you're doing something different, you look different, people are going to get upset. You should just focus on, keep your eye on the prize. You know what I mean?
And definitely with businesses, you cannot just satisfy everybody. You will have your own customers, and that they will believe in you. I mean, what you did for the Muslim community in Scarborough, Ontario is amazing. I think they don't have even another option other than going, if they want to learn martial arts and self-defense and boxing, they wouldn't have another gym that would welcome them the way they are and with their own faith. So sometimes people need to stop looking at how you need to really look and how you need to like kind of be exactly like the same kind of following the same religion in like by the rules, but just see what you are doing for the society and following that kind of movement.
Mm-hmm.
And women need to start lifting each other up.
That is
They
really, I
need,
didn't realize how hard that was, Lena.
yeah,
Because I'm sure you've experienced that. Like, as I grow and in my eyes, when I reach a level of success, instead of, people just drop off. They don't want to talk to me anymore, or the relationship changes. People get uncomfortable with other people's success and jealous as well. And I never really understood or felt jealousy until like the last year, which was very puzzling to me. It's unfortunate. And I think it's just because especially in this industry, there's not a lot of women, as you were telling me before, who are doing this. So I think they view it as, I don't know, like competition or something like that. And that's, I think, something psychological going on there that's probably very common amongst all women when there's only a few who are stepping up. Some people get jealous.
Yeah, definitely it is. There's more jealousy within women. There's a lot of jealousy also between men. But the thing is, what I noticed, I worked with men a lot. Men are way better in hiding it.
Yeah.
So they're way better in hiding it. They can be your friend, but at the same time, they're extremely jealous from your success. But women would show it. That's a difference. They're like, they would say, you know what, I'm not going to support you, or they talk bad about you, or they try to ruin your reputation.
We will.
It's mostly like trying to harm you in like ruining your reputation, kind of. Men would try to shut down your business or get you off the market. It's different, but because what I noticed, it's exactly like if you imagine yourself, women are all put in one jail, all women, and few women have the key for freedom. They can go in and out, but not all women are allowed to leave that cell. What's going to happen? Jealousy, hate, anger between that minority group, because we are not, as women, we're not getting all the opportunities as men. Even in the workforce, women are always have to work harder to get at least one position that is a little bit on high, or in a leadership position. Even like look at America, women are trying so hard, but men are still leading, and it's mostly like, yeah, white men are leading. But imagine all other countries, like developed countries, and like third world countries, and countries that are advanced, or they still have the same problem of not having a lot of seats on the table for women. And when that woman is on that table, she feels sometimes she's going to lose her seat on the table. So she wouldn't be supporting another woman to have another seat on the table.
Right.
But of course, that's a mindset because of women having less opportunity in the world. But if we have more women, exactly the same amount as men out there running businesses, opening gyms, studios, just being out there and building the economy, I think women would start supporting each other way more than now. But I think it will come eventually, maybe in the future.
I hope so.
Maybe in 10, 20 years, I don't know, but it's going to happen because now it's way better than 10 years ago. So now there's more women. I mean, I'm also trying to help women who are in martial arts to just share their, experiences, everything, because we all have the same, like we have kind of been in the same journey. So yeah, for sure. But sorry, that's like my mobile. I don't know why it keeps talking to me. Sometimes I feel like they hear us. Yeah, moving to another question, which is how big is the Muslim community in Ontario?
Okay, so I believe it's probably out of Canada. I think it's the most heavily populated. I think in Toronto, there's about 400,000 Muslims. So
400,000.
Yeah, in Toronto, if I'm not wrong. So in Ontario, there's probably, I don't know,
Mm.
a million. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm over, but there's a lot. There's a
maybe
lot,
yeah, there's a lot of kids too, so we need to count
right?
those.
So maybe anyway.
So I have a question from Melanie. She wants to ask you, what are some differences have you found teaching to all women versus training with men?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the difference is men have a lot of confidence for no reason, and women, okay, even though they have the ability and competency, don't have the confidence.
Mm.
So it takes a really long time to generate a woman's confidence, and especially when it comes to being aggressive, it feels very foreign, and it takes a long time for her to feel comfortable, like even breathing when you strike, or like making an aggressive face, or just bringing that out is really sometimes, it really takes a long time. But for men, they just think that they go into Tarzan right away and think they're the best.
Yeah. Um, Another question would be, have you ever felt like you woke up one day and you don't want to teach self-defense for women?
Yeah.
And what kept you, if, um, if you ever felt that, I mean, what kept you motivated to keep going?
Okay, so yes, and I have, especially with SisterFit, I have felt that a lot, because of the challenges I've had, like a lot of challenges, and especially like opening up the gym, um, you know, just like you said, people trying to ruin your reputation suddenly, and people, just like attacking your character and stuff like that. So that has definitely happened to me. And then I get like resentful and stuff like that. But I think what has kept me going is having faith and listening to, it's going to sound like a hippie, but really just following my instincts and just rethinking over and over where else I should go. And then it just always has taken me back to this, and to just keep pushing forward.
Yeah, for sure. So what's next with SisterFit?
Well, it's, due to the pandemic, it's definitely changed my landscape of my projections basically, but I do think in the future we will grow and have, keep growing like small private gyms in other parts of Ontario. And hopefully we'll expand throughout other parts of Canada in the future.
Great. And last question, where people can find you?
Right here, and you can follow me at SisterFitTO on Instagram. And on, I don't really use Facebook a lot, so yeah, SisterFitTO on Instagram. And yeah.
Yep, that's amazing. You can find her everywhere on social media, SisterFitTO, mostly also Facebook, SisterFitTO.
That's right.
Yeah, everywhere. So thank you so much, Fati
So much
Garsi.
fun, Lina. Wish we had more time.
I know that. No, thank you so much. That was an amazing interview, and everybody else listening. And I wish you all the success. And I'm here in Toronto. Anytime you wanna talk or just vent all these emotions about what's going on, I definitely understand. So thank you so much for sharing your story and your experience and what you're doing for the Muslim community in Ontario. And I think everybody else should follow you. And for everybody else watching, thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday morning. And if you did not follow the Facebook group, it's the Empowerment Zone, where we feature different guests every time. And make sure next week, my guest is also very interesting, like Fatima. She's an ex-police officer in San Francisco Bay Area, and she has an interesting story to tell us about the police department in America. Oh yeah,
I want to know about that.
Yeah, she is definitely, you don't want to miss that. And she's writing a book right now. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend and see you next week.
Take care, Lina.
Take care, everybody. Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.